Hello everyone, welcome to a video by Unbroken Studios. Ta-da-da!
Jazz hands.
Exactly. My name is Robert Peeler, I'm your community manager here at Unbroken Studios. This is Eddie Rojas, the lead designer for Fractured Lands, which is the game we're going to talk about a little bit today. And first and foremost, what are we going to talk about today? What is the subject of this video? Why are we creating a video when we normally don't create videos? What is the reason?
Well, we got some new items that we're getting in the game, but there's one special one that I personally am pretty excited about, and I can't wait to unveil to our players.
Okay.
And it happens to be.
Well, without further ado, what is it? What is this? What is this thing?
It is a new handgun.
Okay.
That is actually a nail gun that uses its own special ammo. It is called the Ripper.
All right.
And we're also introducing new gameplay to Fractured Lands. And the gameplay is pretty much, it is the anti-armor, anti-vehicle type of weapon. So anytime that a player, wants to deck themselves out in like level 3 head armor and chest armor, and then deck out their car with like armored doors, armored wheels, armored cowcatcher, this is the gun that will pretty much annihilate their security blanket, if you will, and remove all that stuff so that they are slim pickings for everybody else.
So is it a powerful weapon? Can it easily kill a player?
That's a good question. It's a very powerful weapon in the correct circumstance.
Okay.
So on one end, it does massive amounts of damage to armor, but on the other end, it does very little to hardly noticeable damage to the actual player himself.
Okay.
So it's almost like the type of weapon that has to be used in tandem with another weapon or very tactically. One of its big upsides is that it is a very stealthy weapon. It is silenced and
by default.
By default.
Okay.
It doesn't have like a silence part on it. It's just silenced because it's a nail gun, so it doesn't do the actual loud gunfire sounds. And also, the sound that it does make does not travel long distances.
Okay.
So if you see a player, around the 20 meter to 40 meter mark, this would be the perfect gun to shoot at that player with and not be noticed.
Yeah.
Because they would have no idea where they're getting shot from.
And I can imagine that, especially because there's plenty of scenarios where I'll see someone at a distance and I'll think, I could try to shoot their car, I could try to shoot them. Whatever I'm going to do, it's going to awaken them to my presence, so I have to make this shot count. But this seems like a weapon that will deal some tactical damage to them.
Correct.
Without necessarily notifying them of where you are.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
And I think also, like, a lot of times, personally, while I'm playing Fractured Lands, sometimes if I see someone and they have higher level armor than me, higher level gear than I do, or a car that's completely fully loaded with all. Yeah, exactly. I always feel a little bit of intimidated by engaging with them at that point. What this gun does is it allows you to negate those advantages that other players might have on you, and then engage with them once you are now at an advantage. It kind of evens that playing field, right?
You said it's in a handgun slot, right?
It's in a handgun slot. We've been talking a lot and working a lot with how to make that handgun slot very viable. In a lot of other Battle Royale games, that slot tends to be ignored, and we're hoping that in Fractured Lands it becomes an actual slot that feels like a third primary weapon as opposed to a throwaway or emergency weapon.
Now that's not the throwaway our good luck.
Correct.
Which is it's a good weapon in its own right, but
absolutely.
It serves a function of deadliness versus
correct.
Tactics.
Yeah, and we're looking to make sure that slot brings in different types of tactics, like you mentioned, or gameplay, so that if there's a certain particular player that loves a specific playstyle, it could be found anywhere in one of those weapon slots.
Okay.
And we're hoping that the handgun slot answers more than one.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's not just talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
We've created a little video within this video, videoception, if you will, where we're going to show you a little bit the function of this weapon and how much damage it deals to armor. So, show the video now.
Yeah, so as you can see, the gun is shooting at the cowcatcher and it's destroying it pretty quickly. Shooting at the armored doors, the wheels. Right now, no gun in the game can destroy armored wheels. This is the only gun in our game that can destroy armored wheels.
Nice.
So it doesn't matter what gun you have, like armored wheels will just not die. But this gun will take care of it. Also, as you notice, it's got 100 nails in the magazine, if you will.
Okay.
And it's got specialized ammo, so although you can't find more ammo for it, you can use it and expend all of its ammo, and then you would just have to discard it and get a new nail gun or a new handgun.
So not another ammo to track.
Correct.
To keep track of, but just the gun. You find the gun.
Just the gun. It's already preloaded, which is also another awesome thing. Is
no reloading.
No reloading. It's just it comes ready to use. Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't do a lot of player damage, but it might still be good in that scenario where if you run into, say, a refinery or you're running into another building in tandem with someone else that's trying to loot really quick to try and kill you, it might be good enough to pick up and immediately shoot a few shots into the enemy, and then maybe club or both or whatever.
Or, you know, and if you're going down the road and you find it somewhere, you can keep it in your inventory and just hold on to it, and then if the opportunity comes up, you can throw it in that, you know, handgun slot and take out.
Yeah, correct. It is definitely one of those guns that can be super annoying when used against you, and then super satisfying when you're using it for yourself.
I love the use of like advanced tactics and changing the way that people play this game, adding to that meta and making it a little more differentiated from what you're typically used to in a shooter, which is a lot of different types of variety of weapons, but this one is something new, something unique.
Yes, yeah, and then it has the added bonus as well that whatever damage it's doing to the enemy player, none of that is communicated through the damage indicator. So
you mean like the blood on the screen?
Exactly.
What about when you're shooting at a vehicle? Do you see the little?
You won't see any of the indicators that you're getting shot at. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
it
even more
is
stealth.
literally our stealthiest weapon in the game.
Okay, very cool.
It doesn't have a lot of advantages with getting the kill. Its specialty is more setting you up for the kill.
Right.
If this was volleyball, this is the one that's putting you up for that spike.
Well, I mean, we were watching like matches where it's like the final three, and they're trading blows back and forth. But if they go after someone else's vehicle, they usually are spending a lot of energy doing that, a lot of ammo doing that. So this allows them to kind of circumvent the use of the regular ammo.
Correct.
Towards that use. Okay.
Yeah, and it's obviously not for everyone as well. I know there are still going to be some players out there that love to run and gun, and no matter what, they're always going to pull out their SMG or their assault rifle. I think this is more of a tactical type of weapon that fits a certain type of gameplay style. Okay. And so if you play that gameplay style, then this would be perfect for you.
But maybe that's one of those things that will then convince people to start using other play styles too. Because if they're typically rushing players who are heavily armored because they feel like, well, if I just get a broad, really good shots off, or if I surprise them, then that'll get the kill. But in this way, you can say, well, maybe I can disable it a little bit first, and then rushing them will be a lot more successful, a lot more likely that I'll get them down.
Yep. And, from my experience, when I talk about the gun around the office, I get two very polarizing answers. I get the half of the group that hates the idea of the weapon and think it's totally useless and underpowered, and then I get the other half of the group that thinks it is way overpowered and should not be in our game because it's going to throw everything out of balance. So
pretty much no one likes it.
Normally it's those two sides, and then I notice that when it comes to guns, those end up being the best guns in the games, where you can't find the people who agree that it's either too powerful or not powerful.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that ends up throwing like a nice little bonus, a nice little spice into the balance of the game.
And that's one thing I appreciate that we're trying to do is we want to throw some curveballs at the player in terms of things they get in the game. You don't want to be like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going for. You want to like surprise them a little bit, like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. That's pretty cool.
And I could see at some point maybe someone picking up the gun and starting to just immediately fire it at an enemy, but not firing it in the way that it would take advantage of its strengths, and then immediately going, well, this is useless, and then
Sure.
throwing it away. And so it's definitely one of those guns that has
learn how to use it.
Exactly, that you have to. It's got its layers, so you have to kind of peel back the layers, learn how to use it, and when to take it.
Put a very meticulous description of it in the game. Please don't use it to shoot someone's head, and it'll be less effective. Unless you're like using the Home Alone way. Okay. So that's
perfect.
Right?
I do want to clarify something that I said earlier that wasn't 100% factually correct.
Okay.
So let me kind of
transparent.
reword it. Yeah, exactly. I
What
mentioned
did you
earlier
say?
that there was no other gun that could destroy armored wheels,
Okay.
and that's not necessarily true. All of the other guns can destroy armored wheels. They would just take forever to do it. Yeah.
I didn't correct you. I knew you were wrong.
Okay.
But I didn't correct you. I was like,
yeah. I
it's
thought
okay.
about it afterwards, and I'm like,
they don't realize he's just,
Yeah. I'm just excited about.
And he hyperbole Rojas. I get it. All right, that's fine. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we left a little bit of time. We want to answer a few of your questions. We asked our Discord to pitch us a few questions that have been lingering on their minds. So we're going to try to answer a few ones here.
Oh, I like that one. Eddie, why are you so amazing?
Well.
That's. I mean, I don't really have to answer it. It just goes without saying.
I like when I introduced the question. I didn't say that Eddie was the person, and they already knew. They didn't assume that I would be talking to you. All right, no, let's go to some
real questions.
Meteor questions. The first one is any plans for other game modes, and what are they? So we've spoken about this casually, back and forth in a variety of different locations. So I don't think it's a secret necessarily, but we are working on a new multiplayer mode. It's been heavily requested. Lots of people want something beyond the solo multiplayer experience, but rather playing with their friends, either cooperatively or competitively. So yes, we are absolutely adding a new mode, and it is coming around the end of season 1, beginning of season 2.
Yeah.
Can't say exactly when just yet.
Yeah.
But we will be, hammering out those details in the next couple weeks, and you guys will see that. So yeah, look forward to a brand new multiplayer mode that will be hopefully very exciting.
We're super excited.
All right, another question. Do you have a development timeline in place? Will you release it to the public when you move out of early access? Well, it's a very marketing question, so again, I'll try to field it.
Yeah.
That answer is that yes, we do have some development timelines, and yes, we do want to share it with you, and yes, we want to share it to you well before moving out of early access. There's lots of things we want to talk about, including more about that multiplayer mode and other features we're putting into the game and things we have planned down the line. It's one of those things where it's very delicate. We want to make sure that we're explaining a lot of information to players about what they can expect, at the same time not, painting ourselves into a corner about making sure it's all done exactly when we said it's going to be done. So we're going to do our very best to communicate what we know we want to do, or at the same time, measure your guys' expectations about when it can arrive and when it can't. Small team, deadlines come and go, but we're going to do our best to meet as many as we can as we go along. So yeah, look forward to that information coming very soon. I'm hoping very soon. Can't say exactly when, but very, very soon. All right, let's see. What plans do you have to increase the player base and bring back players? Well, we do have, again, marketing plans we're going to put in place. That includes things like potentially a free weekend. That includes things like potentially doing some discounts on the game, so allow people to come in on an easier barrier than the full price. We are putting the game on other stores as well, so you can it still comes through Steam, but you can play it on some of your other favorite libraries. So those announcements will be pending, and a few other things, some advertisements, some promotions, all along the way. Don't worry, we haven't stopped that. We're definitely going to be reinvesting in that and reminding players of all the cool stuff that we've been doing since we launched early access, to hopefully say like, oh, I always wanted to be able to flip my car, and now I know more about it, and I can come back and do that. So one of the main things we're doing to bring players back is that multiplayer mode. That is, I think, one of the most hotly requested modes and additions to the game. So once we have some more details out on that, we really are going to push that and get more people to talk about Fractured Lands. Let's see. I'm going to let you field this one, but keep it kind of broad, if you will. No details just yet.
All right.
Let's be careful here.
Will you guys be designing any new vehicles soon? And if so, will any be trucks or rigs or airborne craft like gyrocopters or ultralights?
What are
ultralights?
Yeah, I've never heard that either. Is that a type of aircraft? We'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So the answer is yes.
Yes. New vehicles will be coming soon. And yeah, we keep working on that.
This is a like vehicle-focused VR game.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
You know, asking if we're gonna have new vehicles is the same as asking if we're gonna introduce new weapons. I think so.
You know we
it's
are.
so
We
important to
about
do that in first-person shooters. So
exactly.
yes, we will be introducing new vehicles.
I'll even add.
I don't know what an ultralight is, so I can't say.
Can't talk about that.
Yeah.
I will
I'd
say,
love to know more.
Keep in mind, we are adding new multiplayer mode. Maybe a vehicle can weigh into that element.
True.
I'm just saying maybe we could potentially see some connection there. That's one of it. So that's all I'll say. Let's see. Someone's talking about improving optimization. We just put out a blog yesterday where we again mentioned that we are doing a new back-end integration next week. We've been working on it for a couple weeks now. It's a lot of work to get this thing done.
Yeah.
And I think I said in the blog or to people on social media that this isn't a really sexy patch that's gonna like, oh my gosh, look at all the changes they made. But it's more like this is something that works on the back end and really opens the door on us making a lot of optimization improvements. So while we've had about 4 patches since early access, and some of them have dealt with optimization, they haven't made any drastic strides towards improving performance. But this is kind of like that big thing that really helps us tackle. And so patches going forward after this gets integrated should start addressing optimization. You should see improvements on the loading of the level.
Yep.
You should see improvements on driving your car or your bike. You should see improvements on shooting guns and the accuracy related to it. All of that should improve over time very soon. So yeah, look forward to that next week. That integration goes in and then patches thereafter. All right. Let's see. Are there going to be stats released for season 1? I don't think we've said for sure.
Yeah. So we did have in the plan for stats. Unfortunately, because of other things taking up more of our time and that are much higher priority,
for sure.
That has kind of fallen to the wayside. Okay. But we definitely want to have leaderboards and stats and individual player stats and friend stats and so on and so forth. So at some point, yes, we will be
displayed in game is what you're talking about.
Displayed in game where people can go and visit just to see their stats compared to like their friend stats and so on and so forth. So
maybe like a full complement leaderboard.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we do. It is in the plan. It's just about like when we will get to it.
We'll have to. I mean, the data's still being collected, so we'll have to like look to see what we can show in the past. Like, oh, how did season 1 do? Maybe like partway through season 2.
Yeah, we have plenty of data collection software that we're using. So in the more in the larger scope of things, we definitely can always give that data out.
Yeah, we don't have to wait for it gets in game. We can maybe like create some infographics and you guys can see some of the progress we've made. Yeah, I think we can do that. That's not hard.
That would be cool.
We'll work it out. Okay, I think that's about it. So cool.
All right.
Thanks, Eddie, for jumping on. Relatively so. The Ripper is not involved yet. Cool. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We'll do more videos like this going forward as we talk more about. I think maybe we should talk more about the other weapons that we already have. Maybe give it a little more deep dive into.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah. And maybe some other things in the future. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I saw actually a couple questions that we're not going to talk about right now. We're going to say, oh, is this coming? Is this coming? Or what other features you're planning on? So those are opportunities we can start talking about those other things. So cool. Thanks.
What's super cool is that like a lot of the things that we're hearing from our influencers, our partners, just people that are playing our game is they'll throw out suggestions or ideas or ask, is this coming? And like 90% of the time, it's something that we're already excited about. It's just about like,
We have a private Stormrunner chat, and someone said, it would be really cool if this thing happened. And I asked QA to make a video of it as soon as he asked that question. They did it like in 30 seconds. And I sent it to him privately, and I was like, well, kind of did already. So there you go. So yeah, there's definitely cool things coming.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.